Okay, I think I'm good. I think I'm good. I think I'm good, y'all. I think I'm finally good. I don't know what happened with the last link, so I apologize for that. I don't know what happened, but I'm glad y'all back in and showing major love. Let's get the show started, y'all. Let's get the show started. All right, y'all. What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's great? Thank y'all for tuning and tapping into another episode of Can the Brothers Get It Rap podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Lovechild, and I want to thank y'all for tuning and tapping in. Episode 229. I'm cross platforming on both platforms, which is YouTube and TikTok. So again, I want to thank y'all for tuning and tapping and showing major love. Don't forget y'all to hit the 100s, hit them likes, hit the 100s, hit them likes. It helps with the growth of the show, and we continue to grow. We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We're a little over 11,000. No, we're a little over 12,000 subscribers. So continue to like, subscribe, share, hit that all notification bell. We do have memberships available. Make sure you take advantage of the memberships. Access it through the YouTube. On the YouTube is at Ashley Lovechild. For my TikTok people and for my YouTube people, my TikTok is at Ashley Lovechild Mojo. So make sure y'all tune and tap in anywhere I'm available. So again, we're on every Wednesday and every Sunday at 10:30. And again, I want to thank y'all for tuning and tapping in. The chat is in here nice and early, just like how I love it and like it. And again, I apologize for having to open up a whole new link, but sometimes that happen with YouTube. It's just, sometimes it gets a little weird. So, but it is what it is. Shout out to the chat. I'm seeing the chat in here nice and early. Shout out to the chat. We got quite a few badge holders in the building. Ain't nothing like them badge holders, them day ones. And if you haven't got yours yet, get yours. Take advantage of the membership. And, we got some special things coming up. And it's only going to be available for those who are members of the chat. I'm definitely going to do some things for the subscribers as well, like how I always do. But I'm going to have some special things for the people who are badge holders. So be on the lookout and in tune for that as well. What we got going on tonight? Yes. So I want to thank the presenting sponsor of this podcast, which is Button Snaps, where you get the finest of movies, shows, documentaries, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, that's Button Snaps. That's the word button, hyphenated sign, in the word snaps.com. That's the word button, hyphenated sign, in the word snaps.com. What else we got going on? Let's get the show started. Let's get it started. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it started. Let's get it popping. You already know, do not be an agent of chaos. Do not try to stand out from being a stain. Have the ability to stand out for being positive and not negative. No Willie Lynch mindset over here, okay? The only op we recognize over here is opportunity. We celebrate life culture. Hate has a location, it's just not here. So make sure y'all show that love, light, and energy. All right, y'all. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. We got the chat all in the building. I'm only going to say a few people because, it's love in the chat. So shout out to the chat. Shout out to Culture in the building. Shout out to Hazel in the building. Shout out to Tremont in the building. Shout out to King Prince or King P all day. Shout out to Ebony in the building. Shout out to Winter in the building. Shout out to my bro Biggs in the building. Appreciate you for tuning and tapping in. You already know the vibes. And y'all got them badges. That's what I love to see. Y'all got y'all badges up. You know what I'm saying? 2026, y'all not playing. Already. Straight badges. You know what I'm saying? Take advantage of them badges if you haven't received it yet. Also, there's links in the bio. You can tap into the merchandise. You can get the merchandise right now. You can use promo code BrothersPod at 44.com again for all OUV Records merchandise and Can the Brothers Get a Rap podcast merchandise. So make sure you tune and tap in and use that promo code BrothersPod. All right, y'all, let's get it started. First segment of the night. You already know where we're going with this. Popular opinions. Remember, y'all, this segment, remember, y'all, these are not my questions. These are the world's questions. So stick to the answers in the questions. You already know the segment is brought to you by OUV Records. Make sure you go to at Instagram at OUV Records and stay in tune to the latest music and merchandise. The label motto is create, document, and inspire. And be on the lookout for the new OUV Records app where you're going to get music exclusively and directly. And it's super fire, better listening, better viewing experience. So be on the lookout for that. All right, y'all. First popular opinion question of the night. Worst scary movie trope. Worst scary movie trope. And remember to stay engaged in the chat. It helps with the growth of the show. Number one, killers hiding in the back seat of a car. Number two, walking killers catch runaway victims. Number three, victims always walk towards the noise. Number four, runaway victims always fall while running. So let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Worst scary movie trope on this list. Worst scary movie trope on this list. Again, number one, killers hiding behind the backseat of a car. Number two, walking killers always catch runaway victims. Number three, victims always walk towards the noise. Number four, runaway victims always fall while running. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, this is popular opinions. Shout out to Paul. We got Big Paul in the building. You already know, one of our day ones in the building. Appreciate you, Paul, as always. Shout out again. I'm cross-platforming on both YouTube and TikTok. So as of right now, I'm seeing 4 in the chat. I'm seeing a whole lot of 4s in the chat. They saying runaway victims always get caught while running. I never understood that my damn self. I don't know, maybe because, even though I am an artist, I have a background in sports. If I'm running full speed, out of fear, in the woods, anywhere, knife on me, superhuman strength, guys chasing me, or even walking, bro, there's no way you're catching me, bro. Michael Myers is not catching me, bro. He's not catching me. What's the other one? Jason Voorhees. He's not catching me, bro. You're not catching me. You're walking, I'm running full speed. You're not catching me, bro. So it kills me too. Even when they running in the woods, I don't know if it's just me. I don't know, maybe it's a culture thing, but I don't care where I'm running, in the woods or not. I see it all on the floor, baby. You know what I'm saying? I see it all on the floor. I'm running through the woods like I'm O.J. Simpson. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I say O.J. Simpson, because, he used to run with that gallop. You know what I'm saying? Real high knees, real high legs. You know what I'm saying? I'm running through the woods, no floor, no step, no nothing. And if I happen to stumble, my hand would catch me and I could keep running full speed. I'm just saying, I hate that trope in the movies as well, too. So I'm seeing a whole lot of 4s in the chat. I'm seeing 3s now. Victims always walk towards the noise. I don't know if it's just a culture thing, but when I hear noise, even as a grown-ass man, I look and I do one of these. I don't walk towards the noise. So that's another trope I hate in scary movies as well, too. They were like, what's going on? What's that? I don't know if that's just a culture thing, but I just know for a fact that we look towards it, but we don't walk towards it. So I'm seeing why y'all say that answer in the chat. So I'm seeing a mix of 4 and 3 and 4, which 3 was victims always walk towards the noise, and 4 was runaway victims always fall while running. Another trope that's on here that always kill me in scary movies is that how y'all don't see the killer in the back seat. If Jason is in your back seat, how you don't see Jason in your back seat? How you don't see Michael Myers' 265-pound ass, who's like 6'6", hiding in the back seat with a big ass knife? How you don't see that? When I get in my car, naturally, I always look at in the back seat. I don't even understand how that's even a trope, but it is. So I saw a mix of answers in the chat. So me personally, out of all of them, I'm gonna go with runaway victims always fall while running. Can't stand that trope in the movies. In the chat, it was a mix between both. 3 and 4, which was again was victims always walk towards the noise, and runaway victims fall while running. The rest of the world at 48%, mind y'all, over 100,000 people voted on this, went with. Number 2, walking killers always catch runaway victims. Walking killers always catch runaway victims. I just never understood that myself. I never understood that myself. Shout out to the chat. I think I missed one. Always fall while running. I feel you, Paul. I feel you, Paul. So yeah, I agree. But the rest of the world at 48% went with walking killers always catch runaway victims, which I think is quite funny. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next popular opinion question. Favorite movie genre on this list. Favorite movie genre on this list. Number 1, action. Number 2, comedy. Number 3, science fiction and fantasy. Number 4, horror and thriller. So horror and thriller, it's not the same, but it could be the same. So horror and thriller. So again, favorite movie genre on this list. Number 1, action. Number 2, comedy. Number 3, science fiction, fantasy. Number 4, horror and thriller. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. My bro Big said, yo, that's bogus. yo, I'm trying to that's what they voted for, though. That's what they voted for. Shout out again to the TikTok. I'm cross-platforming on both platforms. Paul, I guess it's because the killers converse energy while the victim runs out of steam eventually. You see, to me, I hear you, but to me, if you really scared, and you running with all that adrenaline, to me, it ain't no getting tired, baby. You see what I'm saying? It's like you running for your life. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole lot of adrenaline pumping. You know what I mean? That's just me. So y'all going with action. Y'all saying action. Ebony, I want to laugh. So 2 for me. Biggs is going with action. So in the chat, I'm seeing a mix of a few. Action is always a good time. Action is always a good time, but the quintessential action movie you could watch over and over again. A comedy, something has to really be funny for it to stick around for a long time. Harlem Nights has stuck around for 40 years, if I'm not mistaken. What's another one? Coming to America, Roscoe Jenkins, Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins. These movies stuck around for a long time. The First Friday is cool, it's funny. I feel like it's a little bit more time stamped. Part 2, I always thought was funnier, but it's cool. It's funny. Part 3 is funny. So a classic comedy movie, it does live on, but a quintessential action movie is like almost undefeated. Science fiction, fantasy, I have to care about it. I have to care about the storyline for me personally. They saying Eddie Murphy Raw. Yeah, Eddie Murphy Raw was fire. I missed that comment, Paul. It got redacted. I didn't redact that, but it got redacted. So again, so you know, and horror thriller. When you get a good horror thriller, you could watch it several times. But to me, the most rewatchable out of all the genres for me will probably be action. I've probably seen the movie Commando, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger and Ray Don Chong, and easily 100 times. Easily. And this is from back in the day. Easily. That movie is undefeated for me as well. But I love all these genres as well too. So, all right. So in the chat, I'm seeing a mix of action, and I saw action and comedy. The rest of the world at 44%, mind y'all, over 310,000 people voted on this. Went with Number 3, science fiction and fantasy. Not surprised at that at all. Not surprised at that at all. Not surprised. When you think of the movie Alien, that's science fiction and fantasy. When you think of the movie Predator, science fiction and fantasy. So I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. And then we run those movies up. You think about the dinosaur movie, what it's called, a Jurassic Park, another, basically science fiction, fantasy. You think of Avatar, science fiction, fantasy. So, again, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. All right, y'all, moving on to our next segment. Our Hollywood Needs to Ask Us segment. Came up with this segment because I got better ideas for both movies and or a movie series. So my Hollywood Need to Ask Us, I wrote another script, y'all. It's fire movie idea. I will call this movie The Static War. This movie is basically about cable, the foundation of cable, on how it was developed and how it took over the world. It's very easy to see the world that we live in today because cable has transitioned into uh, content and is basically one and the same. So a new version of cable is basically Netflix. It was Hulu before they got bought out by, I believe, was it Disney, if I'm not mistaken. So, YouTube is a form, like YouTube is basically a big channel for the community. So there's different ways of the cable age, but the cable age, before cable came out, we had local channels. Local channels. That was it. And when cable came out, it was a big deal. And you had to have some money in the house. Somebody had to have that little extra money in the house to have cable. You know what I'm saying? Especially the time that it came out. And cable was the format that allowed people to have nudity, nude type scenes, what else? Violence, like extreme violence that we see in shows that are now normal. Like when we get a show, we see nudity and we see violence right off the rip. Cable was like the bridge of all that. So that's why this movie would be so fire and so important. So it'll take back in 1989, and it will follow basically a record executive of one of the big three, because it was only like 3 to 4 big networks back then. And then there's a man who basically started this idea and this channel, or this idea of cable, in his garage, and it blossoms on for this. So and then of course with cable, it takes us to, again, YouTube and TikTok, which we have niche based channels, right? You watch people because of their niche or whatever that you're into, right? So cable was the birth of all of that. So that's why this movie would be absolutely fire. I would make this a drama. It has to be rated R. Has to be rated R. My foundational actors would be Brian Constant, Jeremy Allen White, Aya Adibro, and Patina Miller. My director would be Adam McKee, art director Adam Stockholzen, and I wrote it. So I think it will be an absolute fire movie to see. And that's my Hollywood Need to Ask Us. And it's important that we know these stories, yo, especially as we going into, again, the Netflix and all these different channel eras, which that matters. Your button snaps, your Hulus, all these different channels. You feel what I'm saying? It was a birthplace somewhere, and this would be a great movie to show that. Very entertaining, very educational. So that's my Hollywood Need to Ask Us. Again, shout out to both platforms, TikTok and YouTube. If you're on my YouTube and you want to be on TikTok, I'm at Ashley Lovechild Mojo. And if you're on my TikTok and want to be on my YouTube, it's at Ashley Lovechild. All right, y'all, moving on to our next segment. Our must-see segment. I'm going to give y'all some fire movies to tap into each and every episode. This is episode 229. And tonight ain't no different. So I'm going to give y'all some of that fire and some of my Eddie Awards. You know what I'm saying? Some of the Eddie Awards. If this is your first time tuning and tapping in, My Eddie Awards is basically an Emmy, Grammy, uh, 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 Tony. So y'all get where I'm going with this. So I give out 3 Eddie Awards for 3 movies each episode. So my first Eddie of the night of this must-see movie came out 1992, directed by Fritz Kirsch. This movie stars Michael Pear, Anthony Michael Hall, Terry Kaiser, Deborah Moore, Brian Haller, and Lyndon Ashby. This movie is called Into the Sun. Into the Sun. Fire must see movie about a young actor who needs to basically get some recon. Basically, he has to join the military because he has a military role coming up. And I won't spoil the rest for you. So make sure you tap into that movie. I won't ruin it for you. So make sure you see Into the Sun. Second must-see movie came out 1990, directed by Mark L. Lester. This movie stars Bradley Gregg, Malcolm McDowell, Patrick Kilpatrick, crazy name, and one of the best villains ever, and Tracy Lynn, Stacy Keach, and Pam Grier, the legendary Pam Grier. This movie is called Class of 1999. Fire must see movie. This is about a young troubled teen that actually had to do time in prison. And the only reason why he's being let out is you have to see the rest of the movie. I won't ruin it for you. Make sure you tap into this movie. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I don't know why I was watching this movie back in 1990. I had no business watching it, but it was a damn good time. Uh, Third and final must-see movie, my third Eddie Award goes to movie from 1997, directed by Brian T. Smith. This movie stars Paul Savino, Anthony McCarthy, Kate McNeil, and Connie Britton. This movie is called Escape Clause. Fire must-see movie about a young family who's in suburbia. They doing well, and you have to see the rest of the movie. I won't spoil it for you at all. I hate when people spoil movies, so that's why I don't do it. So make sure you tap into these movies, and those were my 3 Eddie Awards again to Into the Sun, Class of 1999, and Escape Clause. Make sure you tap into those movies. You can catch these on YouTube, Tubi, Button Snaps, Netflix. You can catch them on any of those. So make sure y'all tap into these movies. All right, y'all, moving on to our next one. You know, I'm going to give y'all profile artists. Tap into this music. It's fire. Tonight's artist, whether it's new or old, whether it's hip-hop or R&B, I'm going to give y'all some of that fire based on just having great music. So my tonight's profile artist, make sure y'all tap into, is the R&B group Sensation, Jodeci. Again, as I do the Eddies, I do the Michaels. Michael Jackson is the standard, so I give out 3 Michael Jackson awards for 3 different songs of this artist. So Jodeci, the group Jodeci, my first Michael award goes to, as far as this song, is called You and I. Make sure y'all put that song in that playlist. Again, it's called You and I. Fire, must-have song on your playlist. Second fire song, Freaking You. Yeah, Freaking You. You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all put that on your playlist. It's a fire must-have song. And my third and final Michael award goes to the song Stay. Again, the song Stay. All these songs is by Jodeci. Again, the first Michael award went to You and I. Second, Freaking You. And third, Stay. So make sure y'all put those 3 songs on your playlist by Jodeci. All right, y'all, moving on to our next segment. Y'all already know what time it is, baby. Y'all already know what time it is. Shout out to Paul. She said all 3 of them is fire. Shout out to Ebony. I'm on it. Shout out to my bro Biggs. He said, okay. Great songs, fire. I'm telling you, them songs is the party starter. If y'all know what I mean, y'all know what I mean. All right, y'all, moving on to our next segment. Send them to Turkey or nah. send them to turkey or nah. Y'all know the rules of the game. Type in T to send them to turkey. Type in N not to send them to turkey when people say and do dumb shit. So I gotta be careful not to curse because I'm cross-platforming tonight on both TikTok and YouTube. All right, y'all. First, send them to turkey or nah. First, send them to turkey or nah. President Trump signs an executive order aimed at reclassifying marijuana as a less dangerous drug. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, President Trump signs an executive order aimed at reclassifying marijuana as a less dangerous drug. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Type in T to send President Trump to Turkey. Type in N not to send him to Turkey. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. I'm gonna give y'all a second to get y'all answers up. Don't forget to hit them likes, y'all. Hit them likes, hit them 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. All right, so for me, I'm not gonna send this to Turkey. I'm not gonna send this to Turkey. Ever since, I'm not gonna lie, when I was a little kid, weed smoking used to be so, it had like such a stigma to it back at that time in the late 90s, early 2000s. It was such a sick stigma behind smoking weed. And now that we come into a place where it's not really a big deal at all. It's not even looked at as something negative. It's really seen as medical and recreational to the point where when people do it, it's not like a thing where they get boosted up for, you know, just with weird energy, if that makes sense. People are more chill, more laid back, more relaxed. Um, we seen people really turn up after drinking opposed to smoking. But the main reason why it was the way it was back then, it was because smoking was really, I would say, what's the best way I could put this? Smoking was like the thing to do if you was young. It was like a young person thing in the sense where when you smoking weed, it's hip hop, so it has that negative stigma, right? Opposed to the owner of the Fortune 500 company, when he's off work, he get Johnny Blaze, but he do it in the comforts of his home with his homies or his lady, and it doesn't have that stigma. Now we live in a world where it doesn't matter if you're rich, poor. Some people just like to get blazed, and like me personally, I don't want it around me, but some people do, and that's cool. And you don't have to be the owner of something. You don't have to be the lowest on the totem pole to enjoy it and to use it as medicinal use as well. So I don't see nothing wrong with it. So I can't send President Trump to Turkey based on him doing that. So that's just me personally. In the chat, I'm seeing no turkey in the chat. I'm seeing no turkey in the chat. I don't smoke anything but about about time for people who do. That's a fact. And there's some people. It was a bit like almost. I want to say almost. Some people was losing their livelihood over it. Like athletes. But that was like a self accountability thing in my opinion. Like athletes used to really get in trouble for smoking weed in the NFL. I remember there was a guy on the Cleveland Browns. This was probably like in the 2010s. I believe his name was Josh Gordon, if I'm not mistaken. And he was a nice receiver, but he will always have a situation where he was smoking weed. And I just realized what somebody put on my TikTok. Like, come on, dude. Like, type of weirdos stuff you on. Yeah. He was a weirdo for that. That's crazy. I just realized what this dude put on my TikTok. Yeah, dude was a weirdo. Um, but yeah, so the person, he like they wouldn't resign him. He kept failing drug tests. So if you fail a drug test as a part of the contract, it's a clause in it. If you don't pass the certain, tests and procedures, you don't get paid. You get sent home. You lose your contract. So he lost millions of dollars because he couldn't, stay off the weed, right? Now we live in a space and place where he can enjoy it when he enjoys it, and when he plays, he plays. Um, I mean, his career is over. I mean, in the NFL, you either play then or it's a wrap, and it was a wrap. So that was unfortunate for him. My bro Biggs, he said Ricky Williams. Ricky Williams is not quite the same. Ricky Williams is not quite the same. The only reason why, because if you remember Ricky Williams, during football season, he wouldn't do it. But after football season, he got Johnny Blaze. He got Johnny Blaze so much that after like his 10th year, he was like, yeah, I just rather retire, yo. I just want to sit at home, be naked, pause, and smoke weed. Like these were his words, people. This was his words. He's like, I'd rather smoke weed than play football. So Ricky Williams did like to get Johnny Blaze. That's a fact. Pause. That's a fact. That's a fact. So I'm not gonna send President Trump to Turkey based on that. I'm glad he did this. And it's a foolish thing. Smoking is a lifestyle. Smoking is a lifestyle, and it's not looked, and it doesn't carry that negative stigma anymore. So I'm not mad at that. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next send them to Turkey or nah. Send them to Turkey or nah. College football players, the NCAA is thinking about expanding the college football playoffs. Is strongly considering expanding the playoffs from 12 teams to 16 teams. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Are we sending the NCAA to Turkey for wanting to expand the teams 12 to 16? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Don't forget to hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show, and it's free. It's a free thing to do. Show that love, and you already know what time it is. Save 21%. Okay, I see what they say on TikTok. Yeah, so let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. And again, I'm looking at both cameras because I'm cross-platforming, so I don't want y'all to think I'm crazy. So yeah. Me personally, looking at this, a shout out to fam in the building. You already know the business. My guy, hit them likes, hit the 100s, helps with the growth of the show. One of our big bad shoulders in the building. Josh Gordon. Yes, Josh Gordon. I thought I said it wrong, right? Josh Gordon. It was Josh Gordon for a fact. He was nice too. He was nice. But at the time, it said it in your contract, bro. You can't smoke the weed, bro. If you smoke the weed, you lose on the millions. And he got roasted at the time. He got roasted. He, as a young athlete at the time, myself, I was like, yo, what is he doing? Or a former athlete by that time. I was like, yo, what is he doing? Like, just stop. Like, millions of dollars on the table. Like, I think it was like 40 to 50 million. It was something crazy. He had a big number too. It was crazy. But yeah. But let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. College football is strongly considering expanding their playoff from 12 to 16. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Are we sending that to Turkey or nah? Me personally, I cannot send this to Turkey. I thought they should have had 16 teams for the college football playoffs from the very beginning. From the very beginning. When they did the college football playoffs, when they went from national title to the 4 teams, I'm like, okay, that's cute, but that's not going to be enough. Then they said they was going to do the 8 teams, and I'm like, yeah, the 8 teams is cool, but it's not enough. Then they say 12, and they went to the 12. Y'all playing games. Y'all playing games. So I'm in favor of them expanding the college football teams from 12 to 16. So I can't send them to Turkey based on that. So if they do this, I'm actually going to be happy and excited. Because the 12, the first 4 teams get a bye. Which is, it hurts those teams, to be honest with you, because they go weeks without playing the game. Now, some people will say, well, they may go weeks without playing the game, but that could be used for some guys being healthy. True. But it hurts you. It hurts the rest of the team, because now You done had a whole month to start being civilized again. And that's the worst thing for a football player, is to play a full season, have to be civilized, get back into civilization, and then go back to being a football player again. And you lose the routine of things when you don't play a football game every week. So I think it hurts those teams more than helps those teams that have those first round buys. So the fact that they go into 16 teams, no more first round buys. Everybody has to play. So if you think about this, I don't like the fact that they reserve a certain amount of spots for a certain amount of conferences. I don't like that. I honestly believe they need to do a panel on the best 16 teams, and that's it. That's it. So what that means is, if the third or fourth team is better in this conference, they're just better. They're better. They're better than a team that went undefeated in another. And that goes to any Power 4 conference or any Group of 6 conference. Doesn't matter. If that team is better, they're in. Now, if you have a group of 6, a team from a group of 6, if they went undefeated and they was dominant, then they deserve to get a shot at that in that very last 16 spot. There's no way with 12 teams and 16 teams that they can't get this right. Last year, I honestly believe they left out Notre Dame. Notre Dame should have been in the playoffs for sure. They should have been in it instead of Tulane. But at the end of the day, they wasn't. If they was in a conference, they could avoid all that. Now they go into a 16-team playoff. They'll probably get the benefit from getting one of those spots, which is still whack because it's not fair that Notre Dame could be in no conference in football. They could be in the Big Ten for wrestling or hockey or something like that, and then they're in the ACC for every other sport. That's whack. Every other team and every other team in D1 has to be in one conference. Like, what are we talking about? In like Notre Dame, like they need to cut it out. Join the Big Ten. Join the Big Ten, and everything will be cool. Reason why you join the Big Ten, your longest lasting rivalry is Michigan. One of your other long lasting rivalries is USC. You have big rivalry with Northwestern. You have big rivalry with Indiana. Big rivalry with Purdue. All three of those schools is in the state of Indiana. So big rivalry. So case closed, everything solved. So if they have 16 teams, nobody gets a bye week. Also, your stats could be in line. Your stats could be in line because if you played more games than me, then you're going to have a better chance to having better stats than me. Let's keep this thing even. Let's keep this thing even. So I actually love this, and I think they should put this through, and I wouldn't be mad. So I'm not sending it to Turkey. All right, y'all, moving on to our next segment. We're moving on. You already know. Next segment is Time to Rap. This segment is brought to you by Button Snaps, where you get the finest of movies, shows, documentaries, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, it's Button Snaps. That's the word button, hyphenated sign, and the word snaps.com. First hot topic of the night. Question. Is colorism a bigger fight within or out of the culture? Again, is colorism, is it a bigger fight within or out the culture? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Let me know. Again, that's a question. Again, shout out to my TikTok and shout out to my YouTube cross-platforming on both platforms. So make sure y'all show that love, hit them likes, hit the 100s. Helps with the growth of the show. So in the chat, I'm seeing the mix. It's a mixed bag. So I'm seeing in and I'm seeing out. And we're not talking about sex. Again, the question was, is colorism a bigger fight within or out the culture? Um, Again, I guess from everybody's experience, some people saying in and some people are saying without. It's quite interesting. Us as a culture, and y'all know what I mean by us as a culture. I hate saying the word black because that's not what we are. We're not 3/5 of a human being or a people. And I do not subscribe or call myself something that they give us, right? They gave us Negro, colored, black, and so on and so forth, right? We're cultured people. We got that out the way. But it seems like we're the only culture that has a fight in and out of our culture. And it's loud too. It's not even like, kind of slight. It's loud. We're definitely the loudest. It'll probably be somebody of another culture be like, no, it's crazy over here too. It's not as loud. It's not as loud. We disagree out in public, in front of company. We do the most in and out the culture, if y'all get the point that I'm making. So again, I'm seeing a mix of both. We are indigenous people out, I think. So I'm seeing, like I said, I'm seeing a mix of both. So the internal fight within, right? I see us calling each other out, good and bad, on trivial things. We love to throw. I can't think of the word right now, but we love to throw these. Starts with an H, y'all. Can't think of the word. It's at the tip of my head right now. But we love to throw these things, these trivial things against each other, whether they're true or false, whether it's feeling based or whether it's logic. But we do it to each other all the time. We throw each other. That's the word I was looking for with all these hypotheticals, and it's like an eternal battle. It's like we want to see each other glow and grow, but we want to see it being done a certain way. And that's the internal fight amongst the culture, right? It's that, yeah, man, you not cultured enough. Yeah, man, you don't walk culture, you don't talk culture. It's like, damn, that has a walk and a talk. I could have sworn we not a monolith. We not all the same. There's people in our culture, in our space, is all not hip hop. You got some that's R&B. You got some that's real old school, and you got some that's really modern. So our experiences is not the same. So that eternal fight is very heavy. The colorism is extremely nasty amongst the culture. I remember going to a party, and I think my bro Biggs was with me. Shout out to my bro Biggs. His handle is Messiah, and I think he was with me. We was at a party, and some dude was in there talking about light skin, dark skin, and he's like, making a comparison and all that stuff. And he's like, yeah, bro, you probably get a lot of chicks, but you probably get more chicks that you sleep with instead of want to marry you because you light skinned. I'm like, yo, bruh. And Biggs could testify because like I have a very matter of fact personality, right? So I was like, yo, bruh, none of what you saying even matters, bro. A woman is going to choose what she want, but a woman, a sister, she want a dark skin more than a light skin. I'm like, yo, bro, you sound real stupid. Majority of the women that I've dated have been chocolate women. You sound stupid. My mother, I don't know if y'all can see her. That's Coca-Cola color back there. My pop's a light-skinned dude. It don't matter. You like what you like, bro. So you sound real stupid. He was like, well, at the end of the day, I'm just saying, like, they like what they like. So then he proceeds to every chocolate woman that walks through the door, every chocolate woman, he asks her, like, yo, you like dark skin dudes or light skin dudes? So he's putting them on the spot. And it didn't matter what the women were saying because they were saying both. You know what I'm saying? Like, some said light skin, some said light skin, some said dark skin. It just made him look stupid. And it just put him in a worse spot than he was in already. It just gave him a spotlight where it highlighted where his mindset was. It didn't set him apart, and he thought it was going to set him apart because he was dark skinned, he was 6'4", and he thought that he held a certain type of weight, which he did not. But it just put him on a scope where once we got into the party, bro didn't get no type of action. And I'm not saying this to brag, but I did what I was doing, but you didn't get no action. So when the women seen that type of immaturity, just off the back of the colorism, you try to make colorism a thing, and it's not. It is a thing, but it's not for a lot of us. Me personally, I have no issue. I like my light skins. I like my dark skinned women. I like my tall. I like my short. It doesn't matter to me. I love my brown skinned women out there. If you any part of the chocolate, I'm gonna bite. You know what I'm saying? Tasty. But at the end of the day, it's such an internal fight. Like, even when bros get into it, oh man, you light skin, you ain't gonna turn up like that. That's how people get murdered, because you're challenging people to a man dance. Pause. Real talk. That's how people get unalive. When you look at people a certain way, treat people a certain way, and they show you different, that's not nothing to play with. And it's such an internal fight within the culture. Now, outside of the culture, I mean, it's quite easy, right? We're talking about the culture in itself, basically, versus everybody else, where we're just looked at supposedly, and I'm not even gonna put that in air quotation, because some people really look at us as like bad guys or bad people, or we like this, type of entity that's just super dangerous. And of course, we see every day the racial profiling, and so those are the easy things to call, the things that are outside of the race. But there's a fight on both ends of that spectrum, in my opinion. The biggest, or the bigger, pause, based on the question alone, I'm going to say internal. The reason being is because internal hurt way more than external. You see people, and again, I'm not pointing them out. I'm pointing them out because you could type it up and find this yourself. You have people who are some people, obviously not all, but you have some people in Caribbean countries that bleach their skin. Beautiful chocolate people bleaching their skin because of wanting to be, in their eyes, beautiful, in their eyes, accepted. Chocolate is beautiful. If you carry it right, you're beautiful. And what do that mean? If you carry yourself right, all of it is beautiful. That's what that means. When you're light skinned, if you carry it right, you're beautiful. If you carry it right. You can't carry it right if you don't like yourself. If you're willing to take chances on your body, you're putting your body at risk to be accepted. To who? To what? The establishment? What establishment is going to give you extra money for bleaching your skin? So that internal fight, to me, goes way deeper than the external fight that we have. Now, the external fight is way more documented. Obviously, it's way more documented. But that internal fight, that fight where you kind of don't know where you are because you know, we feel like being cultured is a thing and not being an individual that's happened to be cultured. That's why I see it as a bigger fight internally than externally, me personally. Shout out to the chat. Y'all been showing major love in the chat. Make sure y'all continue to hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We're a little over 12,000 subscribers. So again, hit them like, subscribe, share button, and make sure y'all get that Can the Brothers Get a Rap podcast playlist. Over 600 rewatchable videos on it right now. The pool party. Yeah, Biggs, you remember the pool party. Yes. It was the pool party. And then the dude was such a weirdo. He just got super weird. Then he started talking about, yeah, I know a bro that I know a homeboy that would take your chick. I'm like, what? He like, yeah, his tongue is down the head. I'm like, how you know his tongue is down the head, bro? What are you talking about right now? Do you know what I do? Like, what are we talking about right now? You like, is this your way of fishing, bro? Like, he was super weird. I know you remember, Biggs. He was super weird. He was a weirdo. Like, dude was a weirdo. A weirdo. Just weird. How we go from chilling, talking about colorism, but we talked about the colorism because he felt threatened. He felt threatened because he wasn't fresh. That was the main part about it. He wasn't fresh. Now, if you know, you know. If you live in New York, if you go to any type of function, any type of event, you have to be fresh. Simple and plain. He wasn't fresh. Then he started going into all the other shit. He started, yeah, my homeboy could take your girl. He'd take all of our chicks. His tongue is down the head. Dude, you need to find God and get some guidance, brother. You a weirdo. Just straight weirdo. So I'm glad you remember that, Biggs. That's crazy. Facts to both. Facts to both. Depend on the family. Depends on the family. There's something to be said about that, fam. That's something to be said about that, fam. It do depend on the family, on the colorism portion of it too. I've seen movie series movie show series. Most vividly, I don't know if y'all familiar with the Latino singer Celia Cruz. She's a legend, super duper legend. I believe she passed away some time ago, if I'm not mistaken. But there's a story on her life. Not even a story on her life. They have a whole series on her life. Like, you know how we have movies? She got a series. And her series go crazy. Her series got at least like 100 and some episodes. Like, it go crazy. And she was brought up in Cuba. She was obviously a chocolate sister. You know what I mean? But she also had a sibling who was lighter than her, which she visibly saw the better treatment, and that's from in her family and outside her family. Like, it was crazy. And it was in subtitle, but it was fire. That was probably like the best, or one of the best things I've ever watched with the subtitle, and it was worth watching. It was fire, but it dealt with a lot of colorism on her journey, because she is a Cuban woman, and being chocolate in Cuba back in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, it wasn't desirable. It wasn't sexy. It was like dirty type of thing. And she was, such a talent and a beautiful woman. He was doing security that night. See, Biggs remember the dude I'm talking about. He remember. He was a weirdo. Super weirdo. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. Authorities say that actor Timothy Busfield, legendary actor Timothy. Hold on, before I go on. Shout out to Paul. I was raised by my mother and my white stepfather. I have no racial siblings. We were all treated the same, and yes, they're very light skinned. Okay. Okay. Some people can have a blended family, and all ass whoopings are made equally. Like, uh, I'm just saying. Most families, you said no racial, biracial. Y'all know me. I'm Ron Burgundy. If it come on the teleprompter, I'm reading it. My bad. You meant biracial. I meant biracial. But yeah, biracial. But um, but some families, this is how they operate. It's us versus them. And the us is the parents and them is the kids. Whether they white, black, or whether you white or cultured, it's up. Like, yo, we need each other forever. They just here in the house that we gotta take care of after a certain while, and we get them out of here. All equal opportunity ass whoopings. Nobody gets special or special treatment. So I could dig that. I could dig that. Again, I haven't had your experience, so I can't say, yeah, your experience is wrong. No, I'm gonna respect it, and I can see that. I can see that for sure. I can see that for sure. So, for facts. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. Authorities say that actor Timothy Busfield is accused of touching a child inappropriately while on set of the Cleaning Ladies TV series. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Y'all probably know him best from the Cleaning Lady or the movie. I believe it was a baseball movie. I think it's called Little Big Shot or something like that. Little Big Lead, the Big Little Lead, something like that, where the kid was like the manager of the team. He was in that movie as well, but he acts and directs the TV series The Cleaning Lady. And again, authorities say that again he's accused of touching a child inappropriately. Now, I have to be fair and I have to be honest. Actor Timothy Busfield also came out and said that he did not do this. He's being accused of something that's nasty and ugly, and he's going to have his day in court to prove otherwise. When people get accused of these nasty acts, because this is nasty, and it's nasty just with the accusation alone. Because believe it or not, in the real world, let's say he proves his innocence. Let's say that he does. We will never know the truth. Not assuming that he did or didn't do it. So let's say he proves his innocence and he never did this. He was never nowhere near this child. And obviously, the child is being coached. The kid is an actor, so it's easier for him to act by his parents or by himself to get some money from the network and whatever. Easily. Child actor, right? But that stigma will be on him whether he proves his innocence and if he really didn't do it, because we will not know. Now, obviously, if he did do this and he's proven guilty, then what are we talking about, right? But either way, this is a nasty accusation, and it's very hard, regardless if he has the proof or not, to really say, like, yo, I didn't really do this. It's on his name. And mind you, this man is, what, in his 60s? Maybe late 50s, early 60s? I mean, it takes you your whole life to build your reputation. It takes a moment to ruin it. So either way, that's not something you want on your name moving forward. How do you work? I mean, Hollywood is Hollywood, but damn, like that's just a terrible accusation to have. Period. Shout out to Paul. That's Melissa Gilbert husband, Laura from Little House on the Prairie. I remember that show, but I don't remember that show, if that makes sense. Like, I remember the show, but I don't remember like the characters on the show. But yeah. But that's a terrible thing to be accused for. Touching children inappropriately is, like I said, whether he proves it or not, we would never know the truth on both sides of the ball. Because again, if he prove it and he actually didn't do it, that smut is still on his name. It still follows him because it's an accusation. So I mean, this is terrible altogether. Like I said, y'all know me. I'm a big karma person. If he did it, then he fries. If he didn't, then he needs to go on and live his life and continue to strive for greatness. Y'all know how I am. Equal opportunist. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to say that he did this without proper proof and evidence. And I'm not going to be reckless in that. Because if he did, y'all know me. I will point this out. And he going to get that bag work. He going to get that bag work. And y'all know what I mean. So, all right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. Comedian Drewski church skit faces backlash from church supporters. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, comedian Drewski church skit faces backlash from church supporters. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Yeah, I don't know if y'all seen the Drewski church skit. It's going viral. It's going crazy. For me, it was funny, super duper funny. Speaking for a person that used to go to church, I would say more so for real, in my early 20s. I needed it. I was going through a lot at that time, and I needed to find some sort of balance in my life. I went to a church, heard the pastor speak, got inspired, and through his words made me, it felt like he was centering on the things I was going through in my life at the time. I've been more spiritual than like church type for a while now, you know what I'm saying? But the skit in itself, it was funny. It was funny. Like, when did we get so sensitive where we can't crack jokes? When did that happen? It just seems like every time someone speaks or crack a joke, if it's not, to me, if it's not overtly offensive, you can still be funny. There's a difference between being funny and being offensive. I'm not going to be offended everything regarding being cultured. There was a point in time when somebody could joke about how fast Brothas was and how fast the guys and was from the culture and running from the cops or something like that. And it would just be funny because it's laced in jokes. It's not an actual real thing because we just highlighted previously before, all our experience is not the same. Some of us have never ran from cops. Some of us have never sold no type of drug, weed, nothing like some of these things are just jokes. And it was hilarious, by the way, might I add. So I just think it's more of an internet thing where people say, oh yeah, the church is upset. You probably got one or two people that's offended and upset, and everybody else is like, no, the church is upset. It's like, yo, his skit was basically evolved around what he seen pastors do on social media and what they release to the public. You have a pastor that literally puts a harness on and basically is being, flown in the sky in his church. His church is so big where he get to put a harness on, has a damn thing that could take him from point A to point B in his church. That ain't nothing but money. That's all I see is the money. When you could buy something like that. Mind you, nice fit, shoes, suit, everything, jewels, all that. Looking like the pastor from Brooklyn, Vampire in Brooklyn. So at the end of the day, I mean, the skit was a skit. It was funny. You have another pastor. You got pastors out here driving Ferraris. You get the money, pastor. Ferrari though. That's what we doing. Rolls Royces. So again, it's all based on these things where they release to the public. These pastors believe, or some of these pastors believe, that if they dress nice, wear the jewelry, get the Ferrari, the Rolls Royce, that it inspires their congregation to get what they got, that God gave it to them. Heard you, heard you, heard you. So Drewski was making fun of that. I don't see why they can even have the leg to stand on being upset, me personally. Shout out to Ebony. In this day and age, we find anything to complain about. It's a skit, and we are easily defended. We're easily offended. Okay, easily offended. Okay. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's just a skit. People make fun of things all the time. Some of the most funny things that we've seen on TV in movies came from a place of having to joke about the experience, and it's not a big deal. I just spoke about Coming to America. How many Africans you've heard was like, yo, I don't appreciate what Eddie Murphy was doing to the character of Prince Hakeem. How many? Like, so we gotta keep these things in perspective, because if we can't have healthy jokes, where do we go with the content for comedy? This is a comedy skit. So where do we go? So we gotta chill on that. We definitely gotta chill on that. My bro Biggs, he said, I seen it. It's funny. Now it was hilarious. When he said the blood of Jesus and clicked his shoes up and it was red bottoms, I fell out. Funny. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. Question. And we got quite a few ladies in the chat, so I know this is probably gonna their max attention on this. But so question. Can a man be faithful if he has motion? Can a man be faithful if he has motion? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Can a man be faithful if he has motion? I'm going to answer that for y'all. So, again, don't forget to hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. All right, so can a man be faithful if he has motion? Ladies, yes. If you do the research, most men who are married and are millionaires have wives. If you do the research, those men, or obviously not all, but majority of those men are faithful. If you do the research. Some people would say that not being faithful is a form of self-doubt for men. It's not. Men, we just have large appetites. We want what we want when we want it, just like, I don't want to say women because we're not women, but we have sexual desires. But it doesn't mean we act on it every single time. And having motion is not the end-all be-all if a man is going to cheat. Some men going to cheat. Well, not some, but there's a lot of broke brothers that's going to cheat. Going to see a whole bunch of chicks. So having motion, that doesn't deter. Having motion, it just gains more access of it. But I know a lot of dudes that turn it down. I know a lot. Some of my friends have seen me turn it down. Some of my friends like, yo, is you crazy? Did you see the butt? I'm cool. I'll go get somebody else, but I'm cool on her though. So at the end of the day, it's not end all be all when it comes to the money aspect of a man. Is it when there's money involved, when we have motion, when we're popping and this, that, and the third, it's like, yo, having more access doesn't make us more like we just do it just to do it. It don't work that way. It don't work that way. Some men is going to cheat regardless if they have motion or not. Period, point blank. So, yeah, men could definitely be faithful if they have motion. You could find most men more focused, even though they have motion. Because they have motion, they're going to be more focused. They have bigger responsibilities. I don't got time to worry about all these chicks in the world. I got time to worry about your ass. What's up with you? What you trying to do right now? You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's just like an easy thing to say, where they say men who have motion cheat all the time. No, that's not true. How men are doing all this cheating with all this motion and getting all these other things done? Because to get money, you have to do a lot. You get what you put in. And if you're self-made, yo, you spend damn near every waking day up figuring out, adding things up, cutting things off, to add all your stuff together to gain that motion, to gain your value, to gain your bread. So he's working all the time, and he got time to make phone calls and go see other chicks like that? Nah. Now, some men who do cheat with motion or without motion, they smash the closest person near them. That's why you see most relationships happen on the job, or most people that cheat, they do it on the job. Not because the person at the job is really cute for real. Like, yo, you the closest person I'm seeing. I'm horny, you horny, what's happening? I'm having job eyes. Y'all know what I mean by job eyes. Like, when you first work a job, and the person's all right, they cool, you know what I mean, they're all right. But after a while, it's like, yo, you looking better. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody else around, you know? And I start getting the flirting and it's popping. So, without a doubt, men with motion can definitely be faithful. Probably be more faithful than a guy without motion. Because he has less time and less opportunity for real to do it. He just have more access of shit, more access of things. That's all it is. He may have a better choice to pick from because he got access, he got money, he got motion, he got more access, he got better quality of access. Doesn't mean he's gonna act up on it. Yo, I got stuff to do. You ever, like, I don't know if it's just me, but in my late teens, early 20s, it's like, yo, I can smash all day. But then when you start accomplishing things like in real time, in real life, you got bills, you got your own place, you got a whip, like you got responsibilities. You don't got time to be smashing all day. You gonna crank that thing up for a good 45 minutes at best, girl. I'm gonna blow your back out. You gonna be holding your stomach when you leave me, damn, for sure. But I got shit to do. We not doing this all day. I'm up on you all day. I got to get the money. What we talking about? I don't got all time to do this. And then on top of just making money, you got to create ideas. You got to create a new way to get more money faster, cheaper, easier. Can't do all that with motion and satisfying the one woman you have and then have 4 other women on the side. And you don't got time for all that. That's why women have to be very careful for accusing men that is actually not cheating. You accuse a man for cheating and he's actually not cheating and you do it on a regular basis, you're going to lose that dude because now he's losing peace of mind to get to that money on. Just saying. So that is my thing. A dude could definitely be faithful if he has motion. So that's the question I'm answering for both cross-platform and on YouTube and TikTok. So yes, A man could definitely be faithful with motion. Shout out to the chat, but the wife may not be. Uh, I seen it. It's funny. Yes. So yes. So you basically saying what I'm saying. Yes, you can be faithful with motion. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. The money don't make us cheap. It just, like I said, it just give us more. You know what I'm saying? It just give us more. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. Ole Miss quarterback Trinidad Chambers. Y'all been knowing him for like the last couple weeks. He been balling out for Ole Miss. Uh, they have reached an agreement and a new deal for 2026 season. It's on a contingent with the NCAA is granting him a 6 year of eligibility waiver. The request was focused on his 2021 season, where he traditionally took a redshirt year, and then that 2022 season, even though he came in the season able, but off the field he had a lot of medical situations where which led to the removal of his tonsils. So let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Trinidad Chambers, quarterback of Ole Miss, is on a contingent base. The NCAA is granting him a 6 year of eligibility, the waiver. So let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. I thought this was quite interesting. We're seeing a day and age where college football players are playing 7, 8, 9. There's a guy in Miami, I believe, that played his 9th or his 10th season of college football. And some people are like, yo, how is that possible? Well, you have obviously your 4 years of eligibility. Then they will grant you a medical year, right? Because you could have gotten hurt. It was like, all right, take the year to get right. Then they will give you a red shirt year. So now that's 6 years on top of your 4. Well, your 4. I did a broad man, right? On top of your 4, right? So that's 6 years on top of your 4. So now, for that player in particular, his 7th year was the COVID year. So they gave you a 7th COVID year. That 8th year, they gave him a second red shirt medical. And the 9th year, I don't know how he swung that 9th year. I had to look it up, but I didn't get a chance to see it. But he swung that 9th year. So for this guy in particular, because he was lighting it up. And why this matter on top of that is because him playing equals more money. The team is successful, which will help the school and the college make more money. At this point in time, this past year of quarterbacks in college football, the way their season was very ass. All of them. All of them. At very best, we had some guys be mediocre. Nobody jumped out the table off the like damn, he's the #1 pick overall as a quarterback. We had some guys that had some good moments, but they had a very mediocre season. It was very average at best. Chambers started cooking. And again, he's 22, 23 of draft age. Me personally, I think he would benefit more if he would get in the draft. Why are you coming back? You're only going to make the school more money. He going to make some money. I'm pretty sure they will make sure that he makes somewhere $1 million, $2 million at Ole Miss. Dude, you go to the NFL and get that money on for real. If he declares for the NFL, he will probably be a first-round pick. Even though, in my opinion, he probably has a second round grade. But because you have Dante Moore of Oregon, he's choosing to go back to Oregon. Obviously, Mendoza is coming out. There's no other quarterback that's even worth mentioning that's coming out in this draft at all. Outside of those two, people say the last year's draft wasn't that good. Last year's draft was pretty good. And last year's draft is actually going to age way better than what's coming in the draft this year. What's coming in the draft the year next year after this year, might slightly be better. I'm not as high as most people are. Everybody got Arch Manning as the second coming. He'll probably be good, but you got a long way to go, guy. You got a long way to go. And a lot of those other guys who are top tier quarterbacks still have a long way to go. But this kid can really play. This kid throws the ball on time. He's athletic, strong, good arm, and he has a way about him where his teammates respond. So him getting granted the 6 year by the NCAA under a contingency base, might I add, I'm just saying, do you get better playing NFL players or college players? Do you get stronger playing against NFL players or college players? Make that make sense. So, in my opinion, I think he should forego trying to come back. Obviously, he's doing it because that Ole Miss team is good. They're going to be returning the majority of their team, and they're missing the quarterback. They went very far in the college football playoffs this year, and another year, they'll probably be favorites to go all the way. That's cool. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Hey, you staying in school. You staying at that school. But you got an opportunity to be the number 2 quarterback taken in the draft. I'm just saying. And if he goes to the combine and pro day and go crazy, I'm just saying. Like Mendoza, he won the Heisman. He won the Heisman. But if you look at his numbers don't wow you. He has decent measurables, but his measurables to me is also not a first round grade. So if Chambers go to the draft, lights it up at pro day, lights it up at the combine, I'm just saying. The first quarterback that was taken last year was Cam Ward, and nobody had Cam Ward going number 1 until the combine. It was undoubtedly Shador was the first quarterback that was going to be taken in the draft. When the combine hit, Shador didn't want to. He chose not to work out. He chose to just do the interviews and things like that. They wasn't feeling the interviews. They wasn't feeling his energy. Plummeted. So the draft process can change if you make it work for you. Next year, it's going to be a little harder because now you have another year where they're going to pick you apart. So, I mean, it's his life to live, but I just thought it was interesting that he's gained a 6 year to play in college football, and he has the opportunity to play in the NFL, and not just play in the NFL, but be the first or the second quarterback taken in this year's draft. So I just thought that was quite interesting. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. Comedian Corey Holcomb and Anton Daniels. I don't necessarily know what to call Anton, but I know him from being on social media. But he does have businesses and things of that he speaks on, that he's successful on. I'll say businessman. Comedian Corey Holcomb and businessman Anton Daniels on the 5150 podcast. It got smoky. It got real. It got real. They had an argument while they was filming on Corey Holcomb's 5150, and it got heated, and they almost got into 2 altercations. It got really heated. I wouldn't say very quickly, but it escalated. It escalated. The reason why, it popped off, obviously they had, they was talking, they had disagreement. Corey Holcomb had mentioned to Anton Daniels that he felt like he was an ass kisser based on his speaking points and where he's speaking from. Anton Daniels didn't find, favorable to that, and said that, can I say that on TikTok? That he was a dick sucker. And that right there changed the whole form of this debate. Obviously, Corey Holcomb took offense to it, told his host, Darlene, who happens to be the ex-girlfriend, longtime girlfriend, and and son's mother of legendary Ice-T, switch seats, and they was face to face, and it was about to get popping. It was about to get popping. Corey Holcomb had threatened several times, if you call me a dick sucker again, it's going to get on and popping. And it was face to face. Now, Anton Daniels has said, yo, forget all this. Let's go outside. Let's go outside. Let's get this shaking. Corey's like, I'm from Chicago. He's saying, I'm from Detroit. Let's get this shaking. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat in itself. For me, seeing this was quite interesting because here are two guys who are on in the media space, whether they're businessmen or comedian. They're also in the media space in the sense of they get out and they speak against their different things and for different things. And you have these two brothers that have different point of views on different things, and it's quite interesting that they basically from the same region, being the Midwest, right? But obviously, like I said at the top of the show, that being a cultured man or being from any region doesn't make our experience monolithic. So seeing them get into it, based on what they got into, they never got into the heart of why Anton Daniels was even there in the first place on these debates. And I really believe that because of their mindset and because of the way that they think, that could have been an excellent conversation, even if it was funny, even if it was petty at times or whatever the case may be. If there's no real lines of disrespect that's being drawn, like hard disrespect, that could have been a very interesting conversation. Basically, like a Boondocks episode. And the reason why I say a Boondocks episode, because when you watch the Boondocks, you get a different type of cultured experience, right? You have Riley that gives you like that street young kid experience, and he's going to say things from that angle. You have Huey, young man who is very knowledgeable. He's done his reading. He's done his research, so he's going to give you things from more of I would say I'm missing the word, but an academic type of narration. Then you have Granddad who just give you like general out of touch, and then you of course you have your Uncle Ruckus who is Uncle Ruckus and Tom, and that's why their names is their names, because every time you see those characters, you're expecting something based on their energy, how they talk, and their speaking points. So I think this could have been a great conversation with those two in particular. Now, you have to be very careful going on different podcasts and not having a rapport with the person that you're going on to the podcast with. Mainly because speaking could get deadly. Not understanding somebody's language, and what I mean by somebody's language, we all speak English, correct? Somebody's language, understanding their vernacular, could turn deadly if you don't know what they mean, how they mean it, when they say it, how they say it. So we have to be very careful when you going on different podcasts, when you're allowing people onto your podcast. You kind of have to have a real vetting system before that happens. Now, because these two people are in the community, are of the culture, that they don't got time to be vetting each other. But look at the result of it. You have to. You have to build small rapport with people before you really say, we're going to get into a conversation that's going to be challenging, that's going to be thought-provoking, and it's going to be opposite. And you have to be able to do it in a very respectful way so your points can be heard. And that's what we missed, was the points. was one opinion versus the next, whether one is based in feeling and one is based in logic. Because they are of a certain age, they have experienced certain things, the area that they from, the different type of industries that they're in, could have been made for a great conversation. Most people, they're speaking more from an aspect where who would have won the fight. Doesn't matter. Because we missed the important conversation that needed to be had. We missed the message that could have been brought based off both very different ideals and opinions. Everything that popped up on my For You page regarding them was all about who would have won. Oh, I'm going with Corey because he got up in his face. I'm going with Anton because he challenged them back. He said, yo, we could go outside. And the bigger point of that is that we missed the boat. We missed the boat. Now, there was a point in the conversation when they got into an altercation, and like the button of the head, the posturing, the threatening, the going back and forth. We could do this, we could do that. And there was a point in the conversation where they was able to, they had a bridge that they could have got back to the conversation, and then they got back nasty again. Whether it was a tactic or whether it was a chess piece, it doesn't matter. The bigger point is that the message and the conversation that needed to be had based on just their ideologies, we missed on. The culture missed on. And believe it or not, Corey Holcomb has a big following. Anton Daniels has a big following. So when you have people that follow these two different types of men, when these conversations that need to be had, there could have been a meetings of the mind, or there could have been a respectful disagreement. But I'm always of the mindset that you can't unlearn what you just heard. You have to go do the research if you don't agree. You have to go check it out. I'm exposed to it, so now that I know it, I can't unhear it. So now I have to incorporate that into my thought process, into my logic. So that was like the biggest thing that was missing from both Corey Holcomb and the Anton Daniels conversation. Everybody more so worried about who would have won the fight, or who walked away looking better, who walked away looking like they wasn't a punk. Come on, like what are we talking about? They're two grown-ass men. What are we talking about? As long as they take care of their family, take care of themselves, what are we talking about? And y'all worried about who looked like a punk or who they should meet up and fight. And what are we talking about? What are we talking about? Do either one of them get paid to fight people? Do either one of them box? Do they get paid for it? So what are we talking about? There was a much bigger conversation that needed to be had, and y'all worried about who would have won the fight. Like, what are we talking about? And that was the point even early in the show where the conversation about colorism came up, and the question was, do we have a bigger problem with colorism within the culture or without the culture? And I said within the culture. Some of the chat said within the culture. And that also has a mindset of itself, because we constantly fight in us. How do we meet up and we get here? How do we do that? How do it get so personal? How come us as a culture has so much energy for each other, but we don't have that for the people that need it the most? And the people that need it the most, that's anyone that's not on our side. That's not a particular color, creed, or anything of that nature. It's for anybody that want to impede progress. Now, some people might say, oh, that's kind of like, that's kind of bullshit. How? How? When you for the betterment of your people, how's that ever bullshit? How? What I find bullshit is that we only check each other. Like I said in the last show, we loud and proud checking each other. Whether it's privately or publicly, We do it well. We do it in the comments. We love to hold each other accountable for shit that's trivial. For things that's, I mean, just it doesn't move the needle forward. So seeing this and seeing the aftermath of what people was talking about, it kind of ground my gears a little bit where it's like, yo, that's what y'all took from this? Who would have won the fight? Who looked better in the sense of the posturing and the going back and forth, or who would have swung faster, or whatever the case? It don't matter at the end of the day. These are two grown ass men. What are we talking about? Come on now. We gotta do better. We gotta do better. We can't have a space where people of our culture get together on any platform. On any platform. And display that. And y'all know me, I'm not a big, well, you know, we can't look bad in front of it. Nah. We can't look bad in front of each other. We got to switch that. We can't look bad in front of each other. We can't look bad in front of this race. Nah, we the culture, man. We can't look bad in front of each other. Only our culture does this. And we do it all the time. As I'm speaking on it right now, after we get off, I could go on my For You, go on my TikTok, go on my Instagram, go on my YouTube, and see two rappers beefing. Two old rappers beefing. Like, ain't y'all supposed to be worried about making money and y'all beefing about shit that don't matter? What are we talking about? I can see young rappers beefing. I can see other comedians beefing. I see politicians beefing. And I'm talking about all from the same culture. It's like we want that, we live it, and it's the things that we eat, that we watch, and it's all a part of it. So watching that was terrible. It was terrible. And I'm an avid watcher of the 5150 show. For sure. I watch Anton Daniels clips all the time. I may not agree with both of them all the time, but there's some things that both of them say that I can agree with because of my experience. We can't tell each other how to be men, right? We could speak on being a men by being around men, right? You see the pictures of my brother. You see the pictures of my dad. These were my damn near my best friends in the world. And when you're around it and you see it and you know what it is, there has to be a respect level. There has to be a space where we're able to disagree and be cool. Because we have this thing in the culture where if we loud, we're right. Oh, man. No. There's a much bigger agenda that needed to happen during their conversation that it just didn't happen. It's unfortunate. Shout out to Ebony. It was Smokey, LOL. Neither one of them can fight. See, you making my point. You making my point, E. Making my point. And you know I love you. I love you. But like at the end of the day, it's not about the fight, right? It's not about who would win, not about who would lose. It was a conversation that needed to be had. The information, the perspective. We can all take things from each other, even if we don't agree. So that was the biggest thing that we missed from that in itself. Shout out to Tom. I got my dog Tom in the building. You already know the vibes, man. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show, man. Ashley in chat. Family, respect, blessing, stay consistent and healthy. Appreciate you as always, Tom. Shout out to Tom 18 in the building, man. Cross-platforming on both channels, YouTube and Instagram. All right, y'all. Moving on to my next hot topic. Streamer Kai Cenat is walking away for streaming for a while and is focusing on starting his new clothing brand. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. But let me know what y'all think about that. Type your answers in the chat. Stay engaged. Again, streamer Kai Cenat is focusing on starting his new clothing brand and is walking away from streaming for a while. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. When I seen this, I will say this. What some people think it's an agenda based on Kai's celebrity. And what I mean by that is this, is that Kai Cenat has now raised his star quality profile. It was a one point in time where he was just like the cool kid that just having fun on his platform. And then he went from being somebody that the culture embraced and that the culture deemed cool. So now you've seen, well, after you've seen artists, you know, actors coming onto his platform, his streaming, to promote, to be a part of the cool. He's cool, I'm cool. And it's like, you know, it's reciprocal, correct? And now that we've seen it over and over again, and his profile is being raised and raised and raised, some people feel like it's an agenda to get him out of streaming and to get him into other spaces that allow other streamers to blossom, for his star power to drop, and for him to become a part of the so-called entertainment world, right? Me personally, I think this is just a personal choice. This is a personal choice. This is my honest opinion, seeing this young man's journey. And now I don't know all of it, but I know some of it. And from the time that I've been following him, he seems like a very genuine dude. Why can't a young man have the space to just change his mind or pivot? And he obviously has a passion for a passion for fashion. I mean, he's from New York City. I mean, I'm trying to tell y'all, in New York City, you gotta throw that stuff on. You know what I'm saying? It's just a part of the culture. It's in the blood. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, him having a passion for this, him having the resources, him leveraging his relationships, him having the access to different manufacturers and meeting different people who will become either colleagues or people that is somebody that, or people that's, you know, invested into seeing him doing well. There's nothing wrong with this. He's a young man figuring life out. You got people in their 40s that still haven't figured their life out. Shit, you got people that have lived majority of their life and still haven't figured it out. And this young man has been able to be successful, take that success, take those contacts, take those things and turn it into something that's a passion where he could possibly turn it into a real business. They say if you do the thing that you love, it will never be considered work. So why not do this? So I don't think there's a hidden agenda. I don't think there's a hidden message on him walking away from streaming. Now, I do believe that him going away from streaming, somebody will get elevated. That's just in every facet of any industry. When somebody's on top of the game and they walk away, somebody else will get elevated. But I just always believe that streaming and podcasting, in order to elevate, that's up to the people. When you represent the people, or you represent the niche that fucks with you, then that's how you really get elevated. I don't really believe in the, you know, the what they call that, like, you know, the views for the, you know, the, like doing things for the clicks, right? The clickbaits, the, you know what I'm saying, doing the extra stuff for people to tap in. It's like, yo, if you're saying something, then people are always going to tap in because it has substance. People get hungry. You just don't get hungry for food. You just don't get thirsty for drink or water, but you need substance for what things that people say. Regardless if you're super popular or not, they can't get that substance from nowhere else. That makes sense? So at the end of the day, with him doing this, man, do your big one. Pause. Go crazy. Go crazy. And I hope that he does a great job with his clothing design. Him being a fashion designer. I hope he go crazy. So at the end of the day, we got to start supporting each other when we make decisions. And if we don't get the support from inside the culture, where do we get it from? Because the culture, believe it or not, we run the world. Everything that we do is culture. That's why it kills me when people say, well, Americans don't have any culture. What? We run the world. I looked on my For You page, and there was two Asian guys in one of the Asian countries doing hip hop dancing to hip hop. And they wasn't dressed like two Asian guys from that country or wearing what they wear, or I don't want to say they, but y'all get what I'm saying. They wearing what we're wearing in the sense of the brand. They putting that on like how we put it on. You ever go somewhere and you see, like, I ain't gonna hold you. When I was a little kid, and I would go to different, tournaments and things like that. I used to box. I used to play football. I used to play basketball. Ran a little track a little bit. So when I would go places and I would wear my Jordans, I'm gonna wear my nice Jordans there, and I'm gonna put my messed up sneakers on to run. And I seen other kids, and they wear their Jordans, and the way they was wearing it was like, whoa, that looked crazy, right? They didn't wear it the way they were supposed to wear it, in my opinion. But when you look at the rest of the world now, they're wearing it how they're supposed to wear it. That's culture. That's culture. Our music is culture. They sound like us. I've seen another thing in an African country. I can't remember which one in particular, but they was having a whole rap battle, and it wasn't in tradition. It wasn't in English, and they was going hams. Rap battle is not an African thing. It's not. It's a hip hop thing. It's a subgenre, subculture thing. That's what rules the world, is subgenres, subcultures. For those who don't understand what that means, is football is a subculture. Music is a subculture. Fashion is a subculture. The subcultures and the subgenres bring people together. So we need to support those that just want to live their life, man. A shout out to my bro Biggs. He said, true. That's a fact. All right, y'all, moving on to our next segment. My pick six, or my picks, I should say, because it's not 6 games left. So my picks, both NFL and college football. My picks for both NFL and college football. National championship is coming up this Monday. It's going to be popping. Can't wait. What a weekend for football. We got Saturday and 2 NFL playoff games, Sunday 2 NFL playoff games, and Monday college football. Fire. So we got Miami versus Indiana. Both teams are well-deserved to play in this game. They dominated their playoff opponents thus far. With that being said, Miami looks good, y'all. Miami looks good. Number 10, Malachi Tony. That kid is special. I don't know him, but I pray to the football gods that he never sees an injury at all. I mean that wholeheartedly, because the things that he could do on a football field is special. And he's not a big guy. Pause. The boy is special. He's magic. Their defense don't play no games. They get busy. They got a nice physical, strong back. And they're playing like a unit, both sides of the ball. Great coaching. Cristobal has done a good job this year. But I think Indiana got it, y'all. I think Indiana got it. As good as Miami is, both sides of the ball, coaching, they play as a unit, I have to go with Indiana. Indiana is playing a little bit better. both sides of the ball as a unit, offensively, defensively. Offensively, Indiana is scary because of their nuances. When Mendoza throws the ball, he knows where to throw it because he knows the receiver is going to catch it where he wants him to catch it, or where the receiver is expecting that ball every single time. And it's not traditional in the sense where if they run a certain type of route, he's going to throw that route. It's the way he throw the route to throw the receiver open. And those are the little nuances from that team that's going to be the difference in this game. The 3rd and 7s, the 3rd and 6, even them 2nd and 8s, going to be critical downs for Miami on defense and Indiana on offense. Indiana doesn't have a player on their offense that you're saying to yourself, he's an NFL guy. He's an NFL guy. Not saying that they can't play in the NFL. Not saying that none of them is going to the NFL, because those receivers, those backs, I wouldn't be surprised if you seen them on Sunday and turned into the next Puka Nacua, turned into the next, big name running back that have his better years in the NFL. Would not be surprised. Offensive line is physical. But they play as a team. And because they equal opportunity dangerous makes it even worse. So I got Indiana beating Miami for this game. It's going to be very close in my opinion. I don't think this is going to be a high scoring game. I see this game going 38. I'll say 38-21. Some people say that's not high scoring. To me, that's not high scoring. High scoring is what Indiana did to Oregon this past game. They beat them, what, 55-7 or something like that, 55-13. They blew them out. That was nasty work. So in this game, it's going to be way more respectable. 38-21. I have Indiana beating the Miami Hurricanes. So that's my pick for college football. Now my picks for the NFL. We got NFL playoffs this week for the 2nd week in a row, 2nd round. First game I'm calling, Bills versus the Broncos. This game is going to be a great game, an amazing game. This is going to be a chess match. I easily want to say the Bills. Easily. My boys is not in the playoffs this year. Y'all know who my boys is. Y'all see the hat in the background. My boys is not in the playoffs this year. We're dealing with a lot of injuries. Cool. So this will be the year you will say that Josh Allen basically better win this year or he ain't going to have no chance next year. Easily you want to say that. But I have to go with the Broncos. When you look at the Broncos team and what they're able to do defensively, how they're able to generate a real pass rush with just 4 guys. That's it, 4 guys. And then you have Mr. Pat in the back, pause. The best defensive back in the league, shutting it down. Buffalo don't have a receiver that scare me enough against this team. I think Denver's offense will have an easier time with Buffalo's defense than Buffalo's offense having to deal with the Broncos defense. And the Broncos is playing at home. So I have the Broncos winning this game. Next game I'm calling 49ers and Seahawks. This game is going to be another great game. Another one. And quiet as kept, the NFC South is the best the best division in the entire NFL this year. The NFC South, best, I keep saying South, the NFC West. The NFC West, I keep saying South, the NFC West, which is bum-ass Arizona, Seahawks, 49ers, and catching a brain freeze, and the Rams. Best division in the NFL this year, hands down. Um, this is a division game. This is the third time they're playing this year. Uh, it's hard to beat a team three times. It's hard to beat a team three times. I think 49ers is going to play great. They're going to play solid. But I think the Seahawks is going to beat them for the third time. I think that's going to happen. I think this game goes 27-17. 49ers, I don't think just have enough manpower to win this game. I believe Kittle was going to be out. He had a real nasty injury last game, and I just don't see it. Brock Purdy has played well. Their receiving core has played better. McCaffrey, he's balling out, but it's just not enough. It's not enough. So the Seahawks in itself, I have the Seahawks winning this game. I think this is going to be a great game, but I have the Seahawks beating the 49ers. Shout out to Malu. We got Malu in the building. You already know one of our day ones, one of our mods. And big badge. You got a badge, man. I love seeing them badge holders, man. Make sure y'all take advantage of them badges. And tune and tap in if you haven't received your badge yet. Next game I'm calling Texans versus Patriots. This game I'm easily the most excited about. I'm most excited about the Texans versus the Patriots. This game, you better buckle it up if you want either team. Because these two teams, they hit old school style. They get it popping. The popcorn will be popping for this game. You're going to see a lot of big hits for this game. Either one of these teams could win because they so physical. Either one of these teams can win this game. I'm going to have to give the coaching experience to the Patriots. Mike Vrabel, know what it looks like. He's been a part of the Patriot way since I was a little kid. I mean, shit, Mike Vrabel been on the Patriots since like the late 90s, 2000s. Like he's been on the Patriots. He's been a part of the franchise for years. So his team is indicative on how the type of player that he was. Very hard-nosed. And they have a really good team. They hit. Texans, they hit. But I got the Texans upsetting the Patriots in this game. I got them upsetting the Patriots, winning this game. CJ Stroud, you have to play better, bro. If you play well, which I think you will, they win this game. Because their defense, they don't fear nobody. Nobody. And let's keep it real. The Patriots have a young quarterback. He's only in his, second year, third year? This is his third year. This is not going to be an easy game for him to deal with. This is his first playoff game. So at the end of the day, I got the Texans winning this game. The Texans defense and the Patriots defense, in my opinion, they even each other out. Patriots have a really good offense. But again, this is Drake May's first playoff game. And I don't look at the Patriots team as I look at the Pittsburgh Steelers team when they had Ben Roethlisberger. I don't look at them as a Chiefs team when they had Patrick Mahomes. I don't look at them as a Jets team when they had Sanchez. I said it right. I don't look at them the totality of those teams like that, where they could propel their play with their quarterback. So I got the Texans winning this game, and I think CJ Stroud having a terrible game last game helps him for this game because the speed of the playoffs is faster, and they still was able to win. And having those mistakes, if he didn't make those mistakes, the game wouldn't even been close. So I got the Texans upsetting the Patriots. Next game I'm calling Rams versus the Bears. I think this is going to be a very interesting game. I think they put the Bears game last mainly because Caleb's heroics. You know, he's looking like, you know, I don't want to say Patrick Mahomes because everybody can't look like Patrick Mahomes. Caleb Williams is looking like Caleb Williams. He's going to make the easy plays look hard and the hard plays look easy. That's what we're going to get. But there's a freakish level of athleticism, the way he throws the ball in those hard plays, that's just sensational. I have to be honest. But as far as the team, I have the Rams winning this game. Mind you, the Rams is dealing with injuries, and I still have the Rams winning this game. And the reason because the Bears defense, even though they're opportunistic, they're not sound. Okay, they get turnovers. Cool. But they give up yards. And a team like the Rams, you can't give up no yards to no Puka Nacua. Is you crazy? Is you crazy? Puka like the T-1000, bro. You better get it together. But the only way the Rams win this game, not the only way, but the biggest way the Rams win this game, if they run the ball. If they're able to run the ball, they win this game. Period. If they run the ball, they will win this game. And if you look at Chicago as a team, you can run the ball against Chicago. When I seen the Browns, mind you, the Browns lost heavily against Chicago, but there was points in the game where the Browns could have scored several touchdowns. You're not taking the ball out of Puka Nacua's hand on a 50-50 ball that he got. You ain't got to worry about that. Touchdown. You ain't got to worry about Williams and my boy from Michigan. I know his name. Again, when I'm on live, I forget people's name from time to time. Blake Corum. If they turn up, y'all not doing nothing with them dudes. Is you crazy? I got the only way the Bears win this game, they have to play through their tight end. If they try to play through Roma Doomsday, great player. If they try to play through the other receiver, again, I'm drawing a blank. I know who he is. It's just I'm drawing a blank. If they try to play through their running back, the Georgia running back, drawing a blank, they're not going to win. If they leaning on Caleb for the heroics, they're not going to win. They have to be on time, and they have to play through their tight end. Simple and plain. DJ Moore. Right, DJ Moore. Shout out. See, that's why I mess with my chat, man. My chat be looking out for me. DJ Moore. I just be drawing a blank. I know the player's name, but I be drawing a blank because I'm on live. But y'all get the point that I'm making. If Chicago play through their tight end, they will win. But they're not. They're not. And Ben Johnson is a hell of a coach. But he runs a system. But they're not going to be able to do anything if the Rams play through the run. And you could get them up out of there with the run. And you have to worry about Puka on the outside. Bruh. Like, for real, like, and no disrespect, because Devontae Adams is one of the best receivers, right? That we've seen in the last decade, for sure. So this is no slight to him. He's just been a little nicky, hurty type of situation in the past couple years. So he's obviously not the same as he was on Green Bay. But he's serviceable. But Puka Nacua is a game wrecker. So again, if the Rams run that rock, they will win this game. They will win this game. So for my picks for the NFL playoffs, I have the Broncos beating the Bills, the Seahawks beating the 49ers, the Texans upsetting the Patriots, and the Rams beating the Bears. And that's my picks for the NFL playoff week part 2. I believe this is what, I don't care about the name, divisional. I think it's divisional. Yeah, because wild card and divisional. Yeah, so this divisional playoff week. Shout out to the chat. Green Bay could have got Chicago up out of there. if they chose to run the ball. See, Green Bay problem is, bro, I'm going to be honest with you, bro. It's not necessarily playing through the run. Love has to be better, bro. Love has to be love. I mean, Love has to be better. He has to be better because anytime they lose, like when he plays well, Green Bay looks unstoppable. But when he start like doing like his mistakes be catastrophic. It don't even be like regular. It just be like, damn. You know what I mean? Like, bro. You know, so that's why I say that. And until he's able to make his mistakes be like, oh, all right, that was a mistake, instead of like, damn. They gonna hit a wall every single time. I'm riding with Chicago Bears because of Deshaun Wright. He's from the Bay Area. Okay, ain't nothing wrong with the support. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing wrong with the support. But again, when I make my predictions, it's based on what I see, and there's no feelings based. You know what I'm saying? The only team I rock with blindly is my team. You know what I'm saying? That's the only team I rock with blindly. Ashley, how you gonna do that to my Patriots, bro? But you all New York and Boston don't get along. Yes and no. Like I know we're raised to hate each other, bro. I know we do, but real talk, it's a hate only for sports. It ain't no real hate because our cousins is from Boston. You know what I'm saying? Like all New Yorkers got a cousin that live in Massachusetts somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all gotta go to Boston. You know what I'm saying? So it's a sports thing, but I didn't make this pick out of the hate though. Because again, based on my reasoning, again, was just mainly Drake made this is his first playoff game, and I don't see the Patriots in a way where past teams played so well that it elevated Drake's made play at this stage of the game. This is divisional playoff. Like this is different level. CJ Stroud, he didn't even play well last game, and this was like his fourth playoff game. So it takes a while as a quarterback to get in playoff football. So that's a big thing. And that Texans defense, bruh, they wear ass out. Pause. So it's a good team. Good team. Ashley, wake up. Ashley, wake up. One of the best running backs in Jacobs, and didn't use him in the second half. I mean, Jacobs is good, man. He's good. He's good. That was a comeback. Yeah, Jacob is good. Jacobs, he's a good back. He's a good back. Definitely a good back. I just even if they use him, I don't still see them winning that game because they lean on Love. They lean on Love. And when Love makes big mistakes, like Love didn't look the same way in the first half that he didn't in the second half the way he looked in the first half. He didn't look the same. And they always going to lean on Love because Love is their best player. The Rams defense is sketchy. If you really think about it, they only look sketchy against their divisional teams. 49ers, Seahawks, even the Cardinals, they only look sketchy when they play against their division rivals. Everybody else, you know what I mean? Like, Rams is one of them teams, they play down to the competition. This is going to be a big game. This is going to be a big game. And Chicago, again, this is Caleb's second playoff game ever. That matters. When a quarterback plays his first or second playoff game, it matters. Because the game speed, it's that game speed. It's like, yo, this is way faster than the season, bro. I ain't ready for all that. So it's different. But that's my pick. They could upset, but that's what I'm going with. If you got a cousin that lives in Boston, by either live in Roxbury or Lauren, that lives in Boston by either Roxbury or Lawrence. Y'all, Roxbury got a hell of a reputation, bro. I've heard about Roxbury. Roxbury got a hell of a reputation. Roxbury reputation is like Brooklyn and the Bronx. Like I've heard wild stuff about Roxbury, for sure, for sure, for sure. But I'm not sure which area. I ain't gonna front that my family live into. Like a lot of my family that's from DC live in DC, and they be like, "Yo, what part are they from?" I'm like, "Yo, I don't know. I just know that they live in the Anacostia area because that's where my father went to school at, Anacostia High School." So I'm not too familiar with the areas like that. I will be honest. I know the name of the big areas and some of the small hoods, but I'm not sure if they live there or not. I understand that you like the Texans. The defense is championship worthy. That's a fact. They get crazy. That Patriots and Texans game is going to be crazy. It's going to be a lot of big hits, and I love that. It's going to be old school football. I love that. The Rams defense was sketchy against the Carolina Panthers. It was, but you gotta remember the Carolina Panthers is also a good team. They're a good team. They're a good team, and they was fighting for their life. But again, I got them beating the Bears. The Bears is not impressive. As much as that is true about the Rams, the Bears defense give up a lot of yards. They give up a lot of yards, and they do that with regular teams. And they got Puka on the outside. Yeah, all right. Leave Puka one-on-one with them Bears corners. It's gonna get nasty out there. It's gonna look special out there. Leave Puka out there with one of them boys. Is the home of New Edition play Roxbury and the Heart of Boston? Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that. Yeah, I've heard Bobby Brown speak about Roxbury several times. But I had, like I said, I have, some of my ex teammates was from Boston. The Boston area. They would say Boston area. Y'all ladies in Boston are very friendly, though. You know what I'm saying? I will say that. The ladies are very friendly. If y'all get what I mean. They very friendly. You know what I'm saying? Very friendly. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment. Our Keep the Lie Live segment. So my Keep the Lie Live for this episode is this. All money ain't good money. All money ain't good money. Again, cross-platform on both platforms, both TikTok and YouTube. All money ain't good money, y'all. We have to be very aware when people have an agenda where it's just financial based. You have to be very aware whether it affects you positively or negatively. What that means is if somebody is willing to unalive you, whether it's really by breath or it's by reputation, be very aware, because you know people and you heard of people that did the most craziest thing all for fame, all for a highlighted reputation, all for the money. So be very aware that people move with that energy in that space where they just gotta get it. I gotta get it. Yeah, bruh. All money ain't good money, dude. When people are robbing, stealing, I get it. I get it. But that's not how we do that there. As peasants, as peasant nature. Peasant nature. I can't argue with nobody about that. That's not peasant nature. Be very aware, people. All money ain't good money. When anybody is willing to do anything for the money and not realizing that their reputation, their morals, their judgment is on the line. And y'all know how I feel about morals and judgments. And and what people stand on. Even what you stand on has to be strategic. It can't always be, yeah, I stand on this. Yeah, you stand on this in jail for the next 25 years for you standing on it and not being strategic. Not understanding that, hey, if somebody get at you or somebody get the best of you in any type of business deal or any things of that nature, karma gets them back better than anything else. And this is coming from somebody that's super petty. I'm king petty. I can be king petty if I want to. Ain't nobody can show you about king petty better than I can. But even with that mindset, there's nothing that I can do better than their karma is going to do. So be very aware of yourself and people around you that's moving only based on the money. Because money is the root of all evil. Because most people, what? They do things because of the money. They didn't understand that the money is going to get them into a certain situation where they don't control the outcome. That's my Keep the Lie Alive for this episode. Again, all money ain't good money. Be very aware of that. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to my dog Tom. He said yes, they're friendly too. Talk about the Boston comment. But we do have to cooperate with people who do the same thing, like Stephen A. Snitch. People already know how I feel about Stephen A. Snitch. He talks about cultured athletes and make money doing it. I'm a bit conflicted only because I've spoken on Stephen A. in past shows. And I said I wouldn't speak on Stephen A. moving forward. Mainly because I've been disappointed time and time again on some of his stance and the things that he chooses to speak up on and speak out on, and the things that he chooses not to speak on. But I'll break that in this particular, moment. You gotta remember, man, like, and this is what we was talking about with, a part of what we was talking about with we was talking about with Corey Holcomb and Anton Daniels, is that we missed that conversation. People only wanted to see, I don't say they only wanted to see, but people was only focused on the fight after the aftermath, right? Instead of us getting the conversation. That's what we missed out on. As far as Stephen A. in himself, in itself, when you see his children, his daughter, his nephew, you see a very human side of Stephen A. You see a foundation where, like, yo, there's a real soul. There's a real person. And based on his experience, that's how he really feels that some of the things that he speak on. But it comes across out of touch time and time again. So we have to realize, like, we have to let him be who he is in the space that he's in. And even though that he's in the space that he's in, he's not monolithic. He doesn't represent all of us. So because he has a big platform, which is ESPN, and he does utilize YouTube as well, big platforms, he doesn't speak for the whole culture if you don't let him. So I can understand if you feel a certain type of way for or against, based on the things that he said, based on things that he put out. But that doesn't mean you have to patron it, right? You don't have to say, like, damn, this is our representation, when it's not. He's a part of our representation because there's people in the culture that actually do think like that. And then you have people of the culture that think another way. So we can't let one person be the end all be all on things that we agree or disagree about. So that's what I would add to that. That's what I would add to that. And seeing again his daughter and his nephew, those are human parts and elements to him that you could kind of root for, because it's like, damn, he really comes from like a real family, right? But then the things that he said that have nothing to do with them is solely like why people feel the way that they feel on some of the things that he speak on. Because I've said that numerous of times before, when it comes to white athletes, he's not as loud and as outspoken on their BS when they do something within sports. But when he says something about the culture, it's not just sports related. It also carries another message that he displays publicly instead of privately. So, Ash, clean fit. I appreciate that, CC. My dog CC in the building, man. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. When Pat McAfee came to ESPN, I got that money. Stephen A. Smith was pissed off. I mean, hey, man. Again, I'm not defending it. I'm not defending it because I said what I said. But anybody would be pissed off if they're supposed to get some money on and ain't getting no money on. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, what? Nah, I've been here grinding, dog. I'm hating right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, what my 18 M's at, man? You know what I'm saying? Word. So you give your bro old Ash 18 M's. I'm telling y'all, y'all gonna get a whole lot of movies. A whole lot of movies. I'm telling y'all that right off the rip. I get my hands on 18 mil. Y'all gonna see all the movies that we've been talking about. Y'all gonna see Dead Presidents 2 out this mug. Y'all gonna see y'all gonna see Vampire. No, y'all gonna see My Cousin is the Vampire with Martin and Eddie Murphy. Y'all gonna see all the movies. You know what I'm saying? I get my hands on 18 mil. You know what I mean? For real, I'm gonna be the new. I'm gonna be the fourth brother to have his own studio. I was actually trying to get my own studios year back, and I had a snag regarding that. But I'm gonna be the fourth brother to have one. You got Tyler Perry, you got 50 Cent, you got Cat Williams. All of them have their own movie space studios and stuff like that. Your boy Ash, you know what I'm saying, and Snoop Dogg also as well too. Your boy Ash gonna have one too. You know what I'm saying? I love the movies. I want to create movies that matters to the culture, that matters to the world, and tell it from my perspective, and not have Hollyweird around the movie game, because I'm big about the arts. You know what I'm saying? We can have arts without all the Hollyweird play. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I feel. Your boy Ash get hands on 18 mil. You know what I'm saying? So, as Pat McAfee had his own podcast, Orange Show for that was doing crazy numbers. Yeah, that's a fact. Yeah, Pat McAfee been grinding for a minute. He been grinding for a minute. But I'm just saying, if you allow for a promotion and you supposed to get that 18 millions, you know what I'm saying? And somebody else come in, you don't care how they got it or whatever. You be like, yo, you know what I'm saying? You feel me? So, but if ESPN was like, yo, Ash, we want to give you 18 millions, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to listen to the conversation. I ain't saying I'm going to do it, but I'm going to listen to the conversation, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to come in with my shit. They going to come in with this and see where we can meet on my side. 18 mil is a lot of money, dog. But again, what I say, all money ain't good money. So if it ain't good, guess what? I'm going to keep it hood. For real. Y'all think I'm playing. I'm going to keep it hood. It's but so much money anybody can need. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm cool with 1 million. I'm cool with 1 million. What 18 million could buy that 1 million can't? You just buy it 18 times, right? So, but yeah. Well, forget all that. Let's get Ashley to the money. That's all get to that money. You know what I'm saying? Let's all get to the money that we all want. Because all of us don't want $1 million. All of us don't want $100 million. You know what I'm saying? Let's all get to the money that we want. But I'm telling y'all, if I get that money, you know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna get this work. Y'all gonna get these movies. You know what I'm saying? Marvel going. If I get 18 million, Marvel is going to have the fight of their life. Cause I'm from the streets. I know the streets. I'm working on my own comic books and my own animation. I know how many episodes the people want. I know what people want to see within the episodes in the animation. People don't want to see 10 episodes. Y'all ain't gonna get 10 episodes. Y'all gonna get all these episodes, B. You feel me? It's your boy get that 18 million. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna get crazy. They're gonna have the fight of their life. They're like, yo, who is this dude coming out with all this content, B? And I got mad content now. I'm just saying it's gonna be on, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be on Marvel level, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I gotta say about that. Y'all laughing at me in the chat. But shout out to y'all. Y'all been super amazing supporting the podcast. Again, this is the 229th episode. And I want to thank y'all for tuning and tapping in. Been cross-platforming all night on both YouTube and TikTok. So shout out to both platforms for showing major love. And shout out to the chat, man. Y'all, the chat is just super amazing. Showing me major love as always, man. Give me 2 million. I'm leaving the country and going to Costa Rica. Yo, Costa Rica's a good spot. I ain't gonna hold you. Costa Rica's a good spot, man. I ain't gonna hold you. My destination spot was Venezuela until all this happened with Venezuela. You know what I'm saying? You know how far your money go with Venezuela, bro? Like, I'm just saying, you know what I mean? My dog CC Ash, is it chill if I get a quick rundown on the OS of what we sent to Turkey and what we didn't today? I couldn't find the timestamp. Oh, so send them to Turkey. All right, so going back to send them to Turkey, I'll do that for you, brother. No problem. So the first question was if we sending it to Turkey or not was Donald Trump. Or was we sending him to Turkey because he signed a new executive order to reclassify marijuana use as a dangerous drug? So, you know, everybody did not send that to Turkey, obviously. You know what I'm saying? Because people out here love to get blazed. You know what I'm saying? So we didn't send that to Turkey. So that was a good time right there. And the next one was college football playoffs. The committee is and NCAA is strongly considering extending the teams from 12 to 16 team playoffs. So that also did not go to Turkey, you know, so everybody was in favor of it going to the 16 team playoff, which would be fire. So, but yeah, that was the send them to Turkey on today's list. And of course, if they do a 16 team playoff, which will be perfect, there will be no more damn buys. Every team will play. And you know what I'm saying? Because if you think about it, 16 teams, that's 4 games, right? Instead of the top 4 teams getting a first round bye. So those first 4 teams is playing at a handicap because they get out of sync because they lose a week. Even though they're getting healthy, you get out of sync. And then if you ever play football, the worst thing you could do is play a full season and then get out of sync. It's like you become civilized. Like, and me, Ash, I ain't good to you after, you know what I'm saying? We played a championship game. Now I got 3 weeks off. Come on, man. Like, I'm not staying as long in the gym. I'm going to go chill with some chicks. And y'all know what happens when you chill with women. Your legs is going to be all wobbly. I ain't going to be no good to you first week of the second round of the playoffs, coach. You know what I'm saying? We need to play first game out, dog. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Ashley, you know what? They want us in the NCAA playoffs money. Yeah, I mean, is it a money thing? Not really, because no matter what college football do, if not anything else, they going to get to the money on. They going to get to that. So 16 teams It just makes sense. The only difference is that the first 4 teams don't get a bye. That's all that is. And they shouldn't have gotten byes. What are you getting a bye for? It's the playoffs. We fighting around here. You fight to get first seed, second seed, and so on and so forth. And ain't no first round bye. So that's what the extra 4 teams coming along. Now, if they do a 24 seed playoff, because the Big Ten wanted 24 seed, and I believe the SEC wanted to keep it at 12, I believe, and they meet in that 16. It's like, yo, 24 is ridiculous, dog. Like, what are we doing? If they play 24-team playoffs, y'all might as well just get rid of the conference championships games. Like, might as well. And I love the conference championship games. It's like, you know what I mean? So, but yeah. Yeah, most def, 16 teams. Ridiculous. Shout out to Ozone in the building. Appreciate you for tapping in. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. So that was the send them to Turkey or not for this episode. Yeah, we had a good time, you know what I mean, doing that, you know what I'm saying? But y'all was really feeling that Donald Trump, reclassifying that marijuana use, you know what I'm saying? You get Johnny Blaze, and it's all good, you know what I'm saying? It's all good. Not all good, but it's all good, you know what I'm saying? But y'all been super amazing, man. Again, I want to thank the chat. Y'all been super duper amazing for engaging, for showing major love. Hit them likes, hit the 100s, in and all your way out, man. Majorly. I want to thank the presenting sponsor of this podcast, which is Button Snaps, where you get the finest of movies, shows, documentaries, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. I want to thank OUV Records. Be on the lookout for OUV Records, the app where you're going to get new music directly through that app. You get a better listening experience, a better visual experience, and it's just going to be overall fire. And be on the lookout for that. Also, be on the lookout again for the new comics and animation that I'm working on about world domination. It's fire. And I'm working on that as well. Y'all already know, man. Don't be an agent of chaos, man. Do not be a stain. Do not try to stand out for being negative. Have the ability to stand out by being positive. Lose that Willie Lynch mindset, yo. It's not going to get you far. That haterade, it's not good for you. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of raisins in that haterade. You know what I mean? Actually, I don't know what you're saying. Okay, well, shout out to you anyway, man. Shout out to you. So again, do not be a stain. Do not be a stain. But it's love always. And for those who really support, continue to support. This is only the beginning. We had 229 episodes. Again, I'm on every Wednesday and every Sunday at 10:30. Again, I'm Ashley Lovechild. Can the Brothers Get a Rap podcast? And y'all already know the only op we recognize over here is opportunity. We only celebrate life culture. Hate has a location. It's just not here. And y'all already know, man. It's love. I'm going to see y'all this Sunday at 10:30. I'm out.